But one thing, just in what you're saying, Lisa,
Yes.
I could sit back and smile and say, hey, today I'm proud of the small business entity.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of that.
We're getting better. We're getting better.
Just in society. Because even in small business, you have the opportunity to purchase your vehicle in your small business,
Right.
to own a home, to get credit cards. You can live the same life through small business income as you would if you were in corporate America or something like that.
You can.
Yeah, but
if you work really, really hard, because we certainly work harder in our own
Yeah.
business than we ever worked in corporate or for me in higher education. So.
but it's a couple of things that I can say that really makes that step to the next step, I would say in essence.
Mm-hmm.
For one, is depositing the money,
Yes.
Yes. in your bank account on a regular basis to show that income is being generated.
I hope, because
Right.
you said that, and I hope that you've heard that, because that's very important. First step.
First step.
Yes.
But then number two, I love accountants. I love tax advisors because they're going to advise us, in most cases, not to pay any taxes. Help us reduce our tax liability to almost nothing.
Right. But can you explain what or should I explain what the challenge of that is?
Now, sometimes I'd like you to explain that, but one thing that I can explain right now in that formula is even before you get to your tax advisor or accountant or whatever, you need to have a vision of what you want to do in your life.
Yes.
Because if you don't have that vision, what the tax advisor or the accountant is telling you, it may not go in conjunction with some of the funding initiatives or things that you want to do in life if it's not prepared properly.
Now let me explain that for folks, because they may not understand exactly what you mean when you say that, right? So the tax advisor tells you, write off as much so you don't have to pay as much taxes. That tends to make logical sense to most people. However, when the businesses are looking at you to lend to you, they want to see how much income, not only that you've bought in, but you've kept. So if you're basing it on just how much income you reported, I got all these revenues. They say, well, how much did you keep? Well, if you wrote everything off, that's not as much going to your bottom line, what the company maintained in revenues. Now, when you go to get a loan, you're thinking, they're just looking at, I made $100,000. But if you paid out $100,000, what did you net? So they're giving you a loan based on what that business was able to keep and profit. Well, if you're not really showing a profit, how are you going to get a loan? So that's what Vince means when he says it has to line up. You can't just go to the accountant and let them write off everything, and now you don't have enough not income, but revenue net.
And which
maintained in the business
to
substantiate you getting a loan, right?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Which is the bottom line is that net equals income.
Yes.
Just like a person works at, I don't know, they can be a pharmacist and makes this income a year that they can buy things. As a business owner, instead of writing everything off to zero where you can't afford nothing.
Right. It doesn't look like you can afford anything.
Because everything is not free.
Right.
Whereas you need to show some income, and that income will dictate your economic status in life.
Yes. And how they look at you to give you funding. So again, real important concept.
If you're at $30,000 a year that you write off in your business, I don't know, but I think $30,000 a year fits into the poor income. Is that right? In our government standards?
I love how you put that very simply. Yes. You're just above poverty line.
Poverty, that's what I'm going to get to. Exactly. If you just tell the accountant to write off $30,000 a year, your business, you're basically in poverty.
This is true.
Or you can write the more substantial. I'm not saying anyone get besides what is realistic in their life.
Right.
That's all my point is. You need to write something realistic that business is actually showing that it does business.